I, 20, have been friends with Mia, 20, for years now, and she's one of my best friends. I love Mia, but there's one problem that annoys the hell out of me: she's constantly late. Wherever we go, Mia's at least an hour late, even when we pick her up at her house. I can't even count the times when Mia asked me or our friends for a ride just to make us wait in front of her house in the car because she still has to get dressed, just came out of the shower, or still has to eat. One time we were trying to pick Mia up in the winter and she made us wait 30 minutes in front of her house because she had to do her makeup. Mia texting she's ready to be picked up just to make us wait in front of her house is a very common occurrence. Last week I kind of snapped. I tried picking Mia up at her house, and once I texted her that I was here, she immediately texted back, "Just need to get dressed." I ended up waiting 20 minutes in the car for Mia. Quite frankly, I'm sick of waiting, so yesterday Mia needed a ride, but I demanded she send me a picture of herself already dressed before I would leave my house to pick her up. Mia was very mad at me and said she feels like I'm treating her like a baby. So, am I the a-hole for making Mia send me a picture of her already dressed before I picked her up? Not the a-hole. You're treating her like a baby because she is acting like a baby. Yeah, exactly this. It's pretty extreme, but I can't say I wouldn't do the exact same thing. Extreme for maybe the second time, but I would absolutely be doing the same thing after the third or fourth time at that. I can't stand it when people waste my time because of their laziness, it's just disrespectful. The third time it happened, I wouldn't make plans with her anymore, if I'm honest. I don't have time for that kind of bullshit, and if she wants to hang out with me, then I guess she'll figure it out. Or not, and that's fine too. Not the a-hole. And you're nicer than me. At this point my response would be, okay, I'll come now, but if you're not out in 5 minutes you'll have to Uber. This? Waiting for her is enabling her behavior. Give her one warning like you say, although I'd probably spell it out even more: I'm not waiting for you. If you are not ready when I arrive, I will leave. I will give you 3 minutes to be in the car. Not the a-hole. She doesn't respect your time or anyone else's. She also doesn't understand the importance of time management. If she wants to waste people's time, she earned the rewards of it. She can do two things now: start getting ready 30 minutes to an hour early, or keep having to send you photos that she is ready. But it's not even that. It's not her saying, "Be here at 9," and then not being ready yet. She's literally texting and saying, "Okay, come get me now," when she's nowhere near ready. Like, she's intentionally having them come over when she hasn't started getting ready. That's not bad time management, that's complete lack of respect. I'll be honest, I'm still learning the ropes with this whole dad thing. Only been in my daughter's life for over a year after finding out about her and taking over since her mom's no longer in the picture. She just turned 7 and we're having a small B-Day celebration in my backyard with her classmates this weekend. When school opened again, we started having problems with one kid in particular, Nick. A lot of the parents have been complaining about him because he's a huge bully to the other kids and gets benched, basically a timeout, a lot during recess. I've had talks with the teacher because he made my daughter cry after teasing her constantly about her mom. I was pissed. Her teacher promised that they're going to be handling the situation with Nick and keep him away from my daughter. Supposedly they've had many talks with the mom, but all she seems to do is baby the kid. He hasn't bothered my daughter since my talk with the teacher. So for my daughter's birthday she decided to invite almost everyone in the class. Obviously except for Nick. Her mom confronted me after school when I was picking her up. I guess he was crying that he didn't get an invitation. I had my daughter wait in the car and this lady was giving me hell for excluding her son when this could have been the chance for him to finally get along with his classmates. I told her, "Lady, he had months to do that, or her to teach him to. This is their last week of school. Bit too late to be trying to make friends now with how he was treating all the kids, especially my daughter." She just kept saying I should be ashamed of myself for not taking this opportunity to teach my daughter a valuable lesson on learning compassion. It was just a really intense encounter, but in the end I still refused to give an invitation since my daughter said she doesn't want Nick at her party. I'm still thinking about the whole interaction. I've never dealt with a parent like that, and being still new to it all myself, I'm sort of having doubts on how I handle it. I did the right thing or wrong. I want my daughter to be comfortable and happy on her B-Day, but I get this upset another kid. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She should be ashamed of herself. This would be a great opportunity for her to teach her son about the consequences of his actions. Exactly. I get that he's a child, but kids have to learn these fundamental lessons at some point. His mother had the opportunity to create a discussion about how, as we get older, bad behavior results in fewer friends. The fact that she tried to turn it into a learning compassion thing makes it pretty clear that she'll continue to handwave away poor behavior, leaving her son potentially socially stunted if he doesn't learn these lessons himself. Just wanted to add the gendered nonsense about girls having to show compassion to nasty, badly behaved boys. This is how we end up with young women feeling guilty for setting boundaries or demanding respect and better treatment, and young men who think that they can be as abusive as they like, and the word sorry will magically make it all better, with no other consequences. Sod that, OP's daughter can learn, the girls don't have to put up with this crap, and little bully boy can learn that being horrid to other people means no one wants to be around you. Not the a-hole. The only lesson that needs to be learned here is that treating people badly will get you excluded from things. Under other circumstances, I'd say it would be rude to not invite him, but this boy has been teasing your daughter and her friends all year. His mom has refused to punish him for his behavior that we know of and now wants you and your daughter to forgive and forget. That's ridiculous. 99% of the time, if you exclude a single classmate from your young child's birthday party, then yes, it is frowned upon. But this is that 1% where it's not. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a birthday party and I didn't want to invite one girl, it was just girls at the party. She never did anything to me personally, I just didn't like her. My mom made me invite her anyway. We never became friends, but I didn't dislike her as much afterwards. But in your case, Nick has done something to your daughter and there's a reason she doesn't like him. So not the a-hole. Also, on the valuable lesson of compassion, I have to laugh. She wants you to teach your daughter compassion, but won't teach her own son. Absolutely not the a-hole. I see what you mean there. If he wasn't away he was, then yeah, I'd see about having a talk with my daughter about it, but since that's not the case I just wanted to be able to respect her wishes. It's been a hard year so at least so she has this one thing to enjoy without him there. A little backstory here. I, 27, was recently diagnosed with a terminal condition, a form of advanced brain tumor, which, unfortunately, was not identified at the right time. My sister, who is currently in Australia, is the only family I have. Okay, so now to my best friend. Beth and I have been inseparable ever since we were in elementary school. For over 20 years, we have been there for each other through the best and worst parts of life. She is, for all intents and purposes, my second sister. Beth has been seeing this guy for the past 1.5 years and got engaged 6 months back. For the past 1 year, I've almost lost all contact with her. We did speak occasionally when our group of friends gathered together, but that was it. There was only one video call on New Year's where she hinted that her fiancé did not like her friendship with me and that for maintaining her relationship, it would be best to go our separate ways. I agreed and decided to respect her decision. Fast forward 4 months later, and I had hit rock bottom after being diagnosed. I turned to my sister for emotional support, but due to the distance, it was difficult for us to interact constantly. She's currently in quarantine, so it's not possible for her to travel anytime soon. I did not tell Beth about my condition as I was still apprehensive about our conversation on New Year's. Incidentally, my sister is best friends with Beth too. In fact, it was always the three of us since childhood. And Beth eventually found out about my condition and came up to my house yesterday. I was surprised but happy to see her and asked her what brought her here. She went into a fit, screaming at me about how devastated she was to learn about my condition from someone other than me, how I was being selfish by not telling her anything, and that I had disregarded our practically lifelong friendship by hiding this from her. At this point, all the frustration that had built up in me for the last few months came bursting out, and I called her out for painting me as selfish when it was actually her who had cut contact with me. I told her that I made a mistake by thinking that she would always be there for me. After almost 10 minutes of accusations being thrown around, I asked her to get the hell out of my house and never show me her face again. Am I the a-hole for behaving the way I did? Not the a-hole, she didn't want to hear from you and then got mad that she didn't hear from you. Also, even if what she said was true, what's with the melodramatics? At most, it warranted a conversation. The screaming and woe is me nonsense is too much. However, the fiancé not wanting her to be around her best friend anymore sends out. He seems insecure and controlling. She can't cut contact and then be surprised you don't contact her anymore. Not the a-hole, sounds like she heard it from a third party she doesn't consider as close to you as she should be and got buttered. She chose to cut you off because her man-friend is uncomfortable with the close friendship you had because once again she chose him over your friendship. How fucking disgusting is it to make a terminally ill person's illness all about how it affects you to their face? Not the a-hole. She opted out of your long friendship for a boy who hadn't even been around for a hot minute in comparison. She sounds like one of those people who want to play the sympathy card and act like they are a sacrificing and caring person. A woe is me, all my emotional energy is going into supporting my terminal friend bragging type. She is just mad she can't be a social media hero, she doesn't actually care. Don't welcome that drama into your life.